From the ECSI Sports Studios and the #1 sports investors in America, we bring you the closing bell. As the market closes, legends Jeff Dawson and Riley Magnuson bring you all the sports investing tips for tonight's matchups. If you want to learn more from the two legends at the desk, make sure you stay tuned to the closing bell. ECSI fans, do you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all of your sports books and track all of your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You can also sign up for sportsbooks and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as they're the best account on the platform. Head to the App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire to download the app.
Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. This is East Coast Sports Investors Closing Bell. Apologies if I had some goofy producing duties on my end there with the intro. That is 100% my fault. If there was any, if not, then disregard. But this is the Closing Bell for Tuesday, May 21st. Coming to you live for all things Tuesday night action here in the world of sports. Not a huge slate going on tonight. Obviously, getting you geared up for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. That is the main goal of tonight's show. So it should be short and sweet. Might talk a little baseball here and then be in and out and probably be 15, 20 minutes. So always short and sweet when you go in solo, especially on a short slate like this. So let's not waste too much time. Last night we had, obviously, Edmonton moving on 3-0, fight off a late surge from Vancouver, 3-2 victory to advance to the Western Conference Finals, which I believe is for them on Thursday. Tomorrow night you've got the start of the Eastern Conference Finals, Florida and New York. So I will not be here tomorrow, but whoever is here tomorrow talking all things Wednesday night, I'm sure we will, on ECSI Airwaves, we'll be talking on these hockey series these next couple of days here. So as far as tonight is concerned, my friends, you've got Game 1 of Pacers and Celtics. If you saw us yesterday, you saw Jeff and I talking about this series, and I guess the remainder of the NBA playoffs series and finals in totality, and what we think about some pricing on the Celtics with this series, and then to go on and win the title. Maybe not as not saying they shouldn't be the favorite, but maybe not as cut and dry as people are making it out to be. So want to dot your I's and cross your T's there and make sure you're feeling very, very confident in the Celtics to win the finals if you are placing any action on them to do so. But as we said yesterday, maybe worth a look at Minnesota. But not crashing their party yet, because they should run through the Indiana Pacers pretty fine and easily for the most part through this series, I would say. Chances are you're going to get one clunker like we've seen each of the past two series with Boston. I believe it was Game 2 in both series, if I'm not wrong, but don't quote me on that. Against Miami and Cleveland, obviously. I imagine you're going to see that again at some point here against the Pacers. And then I said yesterday, just a random kind of personal thought, is I think outside of that random clunker for the Celtics, you might get one really, really strong game for the Pacers where they test Boston and potentially push this one to 6, but I'm not holding my breath for it. And in tonight's case, I don't know how I'm feeling about the spread in tonight's case, 10-point spread for the Celtics at home here today. I expect the Celtics to show up and win tonight. Maybe the Pacers a little gassed and a little worn down from that 7-game series against New York. Obviously, different opponent here completely. The interesting thing for me tonight is where this total is at, and there's a lot of ways to look at this one because now you got a series where these two teams have not been as against each other, especially have not been in the regular season, not been as defensively focused and more offensively focused. And both these two teams are coming off series against teams, maybe not Indiana in the first case, but at least in this last case, Indiana against the Knicks and Boston against Miami and Cleveland, where the whether it's defense or just a slower pace, the totals and these final scores for these games are a lot lower than what we probably will see here today. So we're up at 222 today, which I think it was 221.5 earlier today, 222. Now it's taken up even to 222.5. And I believe that was DraftKings I just saw there. But a lot of people and a lot of money on the over in this one, which I can understand. You should get some more offense in this series. But this number, even early in the Pacers series against the Knicks, that number was right around this one. Celtics number against the Cavs were quite a bit lower than this, all 5 games, anywhere from 204 to 212. So this is higher than that. But when you're considering that these two teams are not going to play the same style of defense in any sort of way that any of those teams were, and you look at the entire regular season and the last 4 games, or in all 4 games, I think it's 4 games that they played this season. If not, it's the last 4 games. Can't remember if they might have played an NBA in-season game or what. 4 games, any range of 244.5 to 250. So when you're considering that, this total is quite a bit lower than that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I am shading towards the side of the under in this game here, and looking at under 220, and happy to have it rise, and still people pour money on the over, and the total is rising a little bit here. And now I think it's at a point where you can find some value in the under in this case. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm not really buying the jump in total with these two teams, because I would have expected a much higher jump when you consider how these two teams played each other in the regular season. The last 2 games, 133 to 131, 129 to 124 in these last 2 games in the regular season. Both of those were in January, but my point is, I would have respected a jump up to 230 or higher if we were talking about this game flying over the total. Could it happen? Absolutely. But I am just telling you, I am shading towards the under in this game. I believe the team totals is 115 to 105, 115.5, 105.5. So I could see, it wouldn't surprise me if the Pacers go over, and then that's how they cover, and it's a 110 to 106 game or something like that. That would be close, obviously, but one way or another, I am expecting a little bit of lower scoring game. I mean, like I said, you've got you could either have a Celtics team who's showing a little rust and rust over rest, and not ready to roll, or you could have a well-rested defensive Celtics team up against a Pacers team that just played 7 games against a really, really tough defensive opponent and at least physical opponent in the Knicks there. So later in the series, I might be shifting my thoughts to some overs here, but at least in game 1 here, I'm kind of expecting an under. On the full game, at least, I'm not going to try and pick. Like I said, I don't know which team is going to go over or under, or both of them go under their team totals. I don't really have as much of a feel for that one today. But at the very least, especially as this total is ticking up a little higher, I'm more and more interested in that total here today, 222.5. So if I had to do anything for the spread, which I don't, I would say I think the Celtics take care of business, and maybe it's a closer, lower scoring game in the first half, and then Celtics well rested up against a team that could be sputtering a little bit in the second half. Celtics pull away there in the second half, so I might be interested in a halftime play if it's close, and might be interested in the Celtics there. So I think if it's within 5 points, even the Celtics lead at 5 points, or obviously if they're losing, then I might be very interested in a second half Celtics play on this one, but pre-flop on the game, not too interested in trying to dive into that spread there. I think it could finish right around there, and the Celtics should win this game, which would definitely surprise me if the Pacers pulled this one out. Not saying it's impossible, would definitely surprise me there. So that is where I am lying here for game 1 of Pacers and Celtics. As far as this game is concerned, and then the rest of the series, like I said, I am leaning towards and kind of giving a soft projection of Celtics in 6. Not really being that close, though. Like I said, the one clunker that we've been seeing from the Celtics, and then one maybe really solid game from the Pacers, and then 3 or 4 Celtics wins that are going to be a little lopsided. So kind of a series that, when you say 6 games, sounds like it could be close, but on aggregate, I expect the Celtics to handle business pretty easily here through these 5-6 games, or potentially less here. Would obviously be shocked if they go to 7. Not expecting that by any means, but going to be an interesting series and at least a couple of fun games, I think, here in these next week and a half or so. So that about does it for tonight's NBA. You've got, I believe it's tomorrow for the Dallas and Minnesota series. Minnesota 4-point favorites in Game 1, 207.5 on that total. So a little bit of a different story, but might be interested in an under there. But that's to be seen there as we get going on throughout the rest of the next 24 hours leading up to tip-off tomorrow. That's maybe a little preliminary thoughts there where you got a Dallas team coming in that you think could score and only 207.5. You had a lot of those Nuggets games against Minnesota right in that range as well. So kind of goes status quo to what we had there. But at the end of the day, as far as the spread, I don't know who wins Game 1. I expect a split potentially out of that first 2 games there in Minnesota. Like Dallas's chances in Game 1 there Minnesota themselves 7-game series. So we'll see what happens the next 24 hours leading up to game time, but might be interested in Dallas in the under tomorrow, but very preliminary thoughts there. Shifting over to baseball for a quick second here. Don't have a ton of thoughts. I was wrong about the Mets and Cleveland Guardians yesterday. Mets bats did not show up. You've got a similar situation here today, although the pitching matchup is a little different. You've got Adrian Hauser on the mound for the Mets. Not sure how deep into this game he's going to go. Has not been going much past a couple innings. These last 2, before that was going 4 or 5 innings, but has not evened out. They let him go 2 innings these last 2, and he was okay through 1 and not so good through the other one. The month of April was not very kind to him. And yet you've got a Cleveland team minus 125 after just taking care of him yesterday. Xavier and Curry on the mound for Cleveland. Only one start this season was early on in April, so he has been on the IL for a while now and pitched well in that game. So another one that doesn't really add up to me. I don't know. I don't have yesterday was a little bit different where I was expecting Cleveland's pitcher to regress. Don't know what you're going to get out of the pitching matchup here, but another one where if you were on the Mets yesterday in some capacity, maybe if it was a team total, you might shift over to the money line here today. I think if you were on the Mets yesterday and you lost it there, I think you need to get back on the horse there. And total is 9.5. So maybe team total, maybe some Mets action again today. So doubling down on it, rolling it over the loss into today with the Mets. Feeling very similar, almost as strong, just in a little bit of a different way in this one here today. So give me the Mets again for day 2 after a loss yesterday. Outside of that, you've got Red Sox and Rays with Cooper Criswell and Zach Littell on the mound for the Rays. Littell has been a little hit or miss lately here for the Rays this season. They are minus 135 up against Cooper Criswell, who himself had a good start to the season last time out. Not so good. Couldn't get out of damage there. So I don't really have much of a lean on this one. A little interest in the Red Sox, although they did pull one out 5-0 yesterday. So you could see the Tampa Bay Bats wake up there. But 2 teams that have been tough to predict. So kind of staying away from that one for the most part there. Braves obviously struggling a little bit as of late. They did get the second one on that doubleheader yesterday. Cubs a tough time with Pittsburgh over the past few days. They lose 3 out of 4 there. Bats not really waking up. Braves favored on the road here coming into Chicago. You got Javier Assad, who's been pretty good for the Cubs up to this point. So with a Braves offense that's been a little cool, and a Cubs team that's obviously above 500. Charlie Morton on the mound for the Braves. Did just see the Cubs last time out, 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 of them are another one, an unearned run. 3 walks and 4 Ks. I might be interested in, you got a minus 135 chance to take the Braves. So this one is tough to crack. If you like Charlie Morton to bounce back in this one, go ahead. Maybe I'm more interested in the Braves to catch some aggression on Javier Assad and score some runs today. Wake up and actually put some runs on the board. The total is 11.5 for a Braves team that has been a little quiet lately. So you need a lot of runs to make that happen. So it is tough to get into, but I do think you're going to get a good Braves performance against Javier Assad there. So maybe if you can find the first 5 team total as opposed to needing an entire touchdown there. I don't know off the top of my head with that. First 5 over 2.5 juice way over minus 140. So might have to pay a little bit of a price and get a little wild with it, but I do think the Braves could put up a few runs on Javier Assad in the first 5 innings there in Chicago tonight. So aside from that, not any strong thoughts on anything else. My White Sox, obviously, always, as much as I hate talking about it, and I don't need to keep talking about it, they're in Toronto again after a loss yesterday. Crochet on the mound, Garrett Crochet. Still 4.18 ERA, but a couple of ugly starts. Outside of that, has looked really, really solid. Total of flat 7 in this one. So kind of indicating that you could get a good pitching matchup out of this one tonight. So not saying the White Sox are live, but with Garrett Crochet, at the very least, he's been really, really good. The splits in the full game to first 5 is interesting there. You could even get the White Sox. If you're a big Crochet backer, you can get the White Sox first 5 plus a hook right around even money. Crochet last 3 times out, 1 earned run or less, 5 hits or less through at least 5 innings, a couple of them through 6 innings. So these last few outings, he has been really, really solid. So if you believe in the Crochet train up against the Blue Jays team that's obviously been very inconsistent, you might be able to take a swing at the White Sox on a rare time in the first 5 innings at least. After that, it's anybody's ball game. But aside from that, I will go ahead and get on out of here. Like I said, quick 15-minute show talking NBA game tonight, as well as a few MLB games. So thank you all for stopping by for this short, sweet time with me. Like I said, I will not be back here tomorrow. They've got Jeff's got his weekly Wednesday evening show talking all things golf. So definitely go and check that out. But aside from that, if you have not downloaded the WagerWire app, please go ahead and do so. Not only download the app on your app store, but go follow them on X, as well as all of their people involved with WagerWire. They are all good follows there. Great resource that is going to make you a smarter and more intelligent and more resourceful in many more ways to make some money and crack this onion here. So, or peel this onion back, crack an egg, split the onion. You know what the hell I'm trying to say here. So, without further ado, I will go ahead and get on out of here. Good luck with everything that you got going on tonight, whether it be sports or not. Hope you have a fantastic evening and some fun watching these games. I will see y'all later. Best of luck to you.